Welcome to the video. We're gonna be starting a massive back piece Japanese warrior snake. He's got tattoos. We're gonna do background. We're gonna do things. Stick with us. I'll probably talk about some of my favorite tattooers, American tattooers who do Japanese. So yeah, let's do it. Hey guys, welcome to the video. My name is Kirk Fagan. I hope you enjoy this video. It's gonna be great. I think that's good. Oh, you're still here. In case you've made it to this part of the video, make sure you like and subscribe. 1 minute in. Hey, this is an important part. We're about 3 hours into the stencil process. This is the magic and the hard part about doing big back pieces, stenciling it. And if you don't stencil it, you have to draw it on, which I'm not that confident. I draw on pretty much every other tattoo, or a lot of tattoos, but doing a whole back piece and drawing it on, I'm not super confident in that yet. Maybe in the next year, I'll start drawing on back pieces, just because I think they kind of like fit the body really nicely if you do it correctly. Yeah, it's always a hard process. The stenciling, all this stuff. Rubbing a butt. The first one was a little small, so we had to re-stencil the whole thing, and this one's got an extra 6 inches on it, so. Trying to make sure all the important things, hands, feet, face, snakes, all the good stuff's on. The rest I could pretty much draw on, if need be. So far, perfect. I could pretty much guarantee everything else will either work out or I'll redraw it to work out. Like the butt crack hits exactly where I want it to hit on that snake. The hard part is this hand, right? Like when I'm looking at it, I want to make sure that I see that this hand exists. And I want to make sure that this hand exists in frame of everything. And then I could just draw these parts on, obviously. Sick. In your head, are you going to make it all the way?
I'm afraid.
Yeah. But you think you're going to make it all the way? This is always kind of the hardest part of any back piece, is just like getting into it, you know? Because like, you have this idea of what it's going to be, and then you have to like actually do it, and that can kind of sometimes be a little hard to get like into it. The first session really is like kind of just crappy on my end, and it's extremely crappy on his end. So for me, it's just like, get it in the skin. All the hard work is in front of us. And then once that's done and like there's no more outlining that I need to do, and the next time I just get to like do some shading, it's like, oh, sick, this is the fun shit. But for him, he's gonna test out how strong he is. That's for sure. That's what today is all about. It's like running a marathon, and I've ran a couple of those, so I know what that feels like. I don't know what it's like to get a big back tattoo, because I don't have mine done yet. I can assume that, yeah, it's just like running a marathon. But when it's all said and done, he'll forget. It'll all be worth it. As long as I do my job well. We're almost done with his butt. We've made great progress. I think we've been tattooing like, what, 40 minutes? At a certain point, like with the butt, I always start from the bottom up, because I think the back of the leg isn't that painful. Then you get to the butt, which is extremely painful. The butt, the lower back, and then you get up to like your shoulders, and it's definitely not as painful as up here in that range. But because we've been tattooing so long, you know, the back of the knee, the butt, and then the shoulders, it's extremely painful itself. So I do it that order so that I don't start at a very easy part and then go straight into the butt, because it's a lot up top and it will wear him out by the time we get to the butt, and it's just gonna destroy him. So I go strategically thinking about like, where's gonna be the most painful? Where can we get this over with and on to the next part? So the other day I was thinking about who are my favorite Japanese tattooers in America. The ones that I like constantly go back to and always like look at their work, rework, like think about it. I was sitting here watching that video, and I wanted to add a little bit to who my favorite American Japanese tattooers are, Horitomo. By far the best American, he's obviously Japanese, but he lives in America, tattooing in America. That's who I'm obviously most concentrated on. One of the best. Amazing. Super cool. I think a lot of his tattoos are simple and strong. And I think sometimes simple just doesn't have the same strength because it's almost too simple. There's like a line where simple becomes dumb. And then there's a line where simple is strong. And he's somewhere in that range where it's like just his designs are very simple, straightforward, and have balls. Like there's just a strength to them, which makes his tattoos just my favorite by far in America for Japanese tattooing. But there is an honorable mention that I want to talk about because his tattoos have been, kind of surprising to me. The Victron tattoos. He does Japanese tattooing in a style that I cannot stop thinking about. Very unique looking tattoos. He's out in the middle of Alabama. Not exactly where I would think to find an amazing Japanese style tattooer, but his tattoos are impressive. And I love the way he draws them. Obviously, that's a big part of like the way his tattoos like show up is just like, you look at it and you're like, that is a unique way to draw that. And it doesn't take it away. A lot of times personally, I feel like I see tattooers with Japanese try and reinvent the wheel. Like they trying to like innovate or do something special with a Japanese tattoo. And I'm like, don't do that. Like you're not good at it. You're like trying to reinvent something that is already almost perfected. Instead, you should like follow the rules and change those rules when you learn how to play with the rules. That's how I feel about it. I'm not an expert in Japanese. I like doing Japanese. I think some of the things I've done with Japanese have been amazing and cool and interesting, but I'm not an expert. I'm not the guy. But when I look at his tattoos, I go, Victron, whatever you're doing weird style-wise, you just keep doing you. Because it is so cool and so special in this amazing kind of way. Like I'm just gonna kind of flash through. If I was gonna get tattooed by someone Japanese style, it'd be Horitomo, and then it would absolutely be Victron. Those are the two. Obviously, there's so many out here in America that do amazing Japanese style tattoos. Let me do a quick run. There's Chris Garver, obviously, one of the best. Chris O'Donnell, Horitomo, Kiku Punk, obviously, amazing tattooer. Brad Stevens, Dan Santoro, now specializes in Japanese. Not so much American traditional anymore. Obviously, there's a lot of tattoos I'm inspired by. These are the ones that just like pop into my head right away. And there's by far no one who's inspired me more than Koji Ichimaru. I can't talk about Japanese tattooing without mentioning him because he's just so inspirational. And then Micah Cottle, one of my homies, American Tattoo. He's like by far the biggest inspiration, the biggest help when it came to Japanese tattooing. So yeah, back to me tattooing this guy's ass. Sometimes it's really hard to find the right angles when you're tattooing something like this. This is my favorite position for this part of the back. As long as you have all the right tools for it, I really like it. Because like I'm pulling lines that are this big in 2 minutes. So with back pieces, there's only one thing you have to worry about. That's speed. Getting the lines in as good as they're gonna be and burning through the tattoo. Especially like if you're not using numbing cream, if you're not doing any of that type of stuff, this is an extremely painful tattoo. So that's like, the only thing I'm worried about is how fast can I get through this? Because I know that a lot of the shading I could fix in post. And by post, I just mean like, I'm gonna have probably 10 sessions on this back piece. Like I will have ample amount of time to fix any lines that are just kind of like shoved in there real quick and make them look nice by the end of it. So today it's like, dude, just put them in. I don't care exactly how they look because I could fix them all. Obviously, Lisandro here is sitting extremely tough, but it doesn't matter because it's gonna be excruciating. So yeah, you just stick them in and worry about them later.
My foot.
We were talking earlier about like human spirit, dude. This is where it tests. Like, how tough are you today, this point in your life? How much can you handle? And you know, it's not like there's a right or wrong answer to that. It's not like you have to do a whole back piece to figure out what that means. It's just a cool part of this experience is that we get to find out where the end of the line is. Pain. How much can you handle? That's actually one of my favorite parts about back pieces is that it really tests that for people. I like watching people do more than what they think they can, especially when it comes to pain in tattoo form. I know Lychee doesn't want to talk. We're not going to put him on camera because that's like the last thing he wants to do right now, but it's fun to experience him going through this. I know on my end, it looks like I'm smiling and super happy because I am, because I get to see him, you know, see this through. So it's super cool. It's super powerful. One of the best parts of the job. He's all done. He doesn't have to get tattooed anymore today. I got to a place where I could stop. And now he could just go home and sleep forever.
Thank you.
That was an adventure. He's still in a lot of pain, I'm sure. He's gonna be in a lot of pain for a few days. A lot of times when you get work this big, you'll get sick. Your stomach will hurt for a few days. It takes a minute to recover from something so painful. I don't know, what should the name of this video be? I nearly killed the guy. He did good though. He did really good. The next session we'll probably do start on the black and gray, clouds and wind bars, and then bring it together. And then we'll kind of go from the outside in. So I'll start with the shoulders. I'll go down the sides. I'll do the butt, the back of the leg, and then I'll keep going with him on the inside, and then the last piece will be the tattoos, more than likely. I'll kind of save that to the end, because that's kind of like a detailed little session by itself, but I want to see how everything plays together. That's it. If you want to test your spirit, come get tattooed in Mexico. Or you want me to break your spirit, that's also cool. I'll do that.